Today, I'm going to focus on social media. And the reason I think social media is important, it's because it's one of the most cost-efficient tools for marketing. So let's say you want to start selling something and you don't know what would it take for you to sell, or what is it people who want to come to your farm. Let's say you have an event, a farm event, or you're going to have I don't know, a CSA or a farm stand. Social media may be the most cost efficient strategy when you're doing marketing, because you can actually start smaller. You can, if you have a social media profile, usually most businesses start with Facebook, then you can, try to test the waters, creating that profile for your business and try to understand, is that something that I want to devote my time on? And I understand usually when you're farming, the least thing that you want to do is spend time on your cell phone or on your computer. So there are tools that you can actually use to make these more automated. You can also hire a part-time person to do this work for you. Whatever you decide to do, I think the reason to use social media marketing is because, one, everyone is in social media, especially when you're looking into consumers. The amount of time 3 out of 4 Americans are using social media to make decisions. So that's a really big impact into decision making for consumers. And even if they're not your customers, let's say we're talking about teenagers using social media, their parents are going to be influenced by the choices, and they're going to hear about a new farm or a new program, a new event, or a new brand that exists in their community. So whether you are selling close to the consumers, let's say you go to the farmers markets, or you're selling to a restaurant, you do want to have a brand, because usually even for restaurants, they're going to say, well, this produce came from this farm. So you want to have a brand it's associated with your consumer's brand, or your consumer's preferences, or even if you're trying to sell to a wholesaler, wherever you are on the supply chain, if you're closer to the consumer or farther away, one of the things that we find is that social media is very helpful to build a brand, because regardless of what's going on right now on your markets, what markets you're using, most likely things are going to change in the future. So you want to have a brand that consumers are going to identify you, want to buy your products at a retail market, at a restaurant, or come to your farm stand, or if it's a CSA. So I think I'm trying to sell social media. However, I think also I'm not trying to say you have to spend all your time on social media. I think there are ways to do this more efficiently. But at least you should have a social media presence, a social media page that is going to provide your customers with that information. Because when you're looking into somebody who wants to buy something, let's say agritourism, they want to find what is the closest orchard or an orchard next to their community, they're going to try to Google that. And if you don't have a social media page, they're never going to find you. And that means that your competition, even though you may be in different counties, your competition is just milliseconds away. There's just a few seconds to look for the next business, your competitor. So you want to have a presence here, so you are on the eyes of your consumers. And you never know, new markets may open, a new restaurant may come and try to buy from you. Even if you're processing something, a new opportunity to make business with another business, it's going to be important. So I'm going to go ahead and present to you what are the top social media strategies that I have found in my experience that has helped the most farmers, but also agribusiness in general, in terms of how do we do this social media, how do we do it efficiently, and how do we commit resources that are actually going to pay off? Because the least thing that you want to do is to use resources, time, and money to do something that is not working. So ideally, you have something, some strategies that are going to be implemented after this presentation that you can actually see a return and see some dollars back.